Welcome back, and thanks for joining us for another edition of Real Estate Roundtable. I'm Rob Moore with Echo Properties, and we got a great show on tap today. We're talking about impact glass and your return on investment. Is it a positive return on investment? Well, we're going to find out. So we're joined today by, below me there, Jeff Lichtenstein, owner and CEO of Echo Properties. Hey, Jeff.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm great. And
It's almost like we matched our, we planned on our outfits today.
except I got this nice house behind me.
Yeah, that's right. It's
And
got dolphins in the background, just like suspended in air.
they're frozen. And I'm joined by Mr. Emilio Pages. He is the vice president of Window Professionals, and he's going to tell us all about impact glass. He's been doing this for over, I think you said 26 years, Emilio?
Yeah, Rob, 26 years.
And I was 10, just so you know. I'm not trying to date you, but I was 10 years old when you started in the business. So, Jeff, I'm going to let you take it away. Let's find out a little more.
Yeah, well, first of all, I wrote a blog this morning, and we're always asked in real estate when somebody's looking to do something, what am I going to get? Am I going to get my money out of it? So if I'm going to do the kitchen, do I get my money out of it? If I do the third bathroom, am I going to get my money out of it? And it's always, the essence of it is that people buy on sex appeal. So they're buying emotional items. People love kitchens. So you get your money out of a kitchen. You get your money out of a master bathroom. Landscaping, which costs a lot of money but it creates views you get your money out of. You don't see people say, oh my God, Emilio, our house, it's this dark, dreary home, closed, choppy floor plan, but our garage and the fourth bedroom are to die for. I've never heard that. You also don't get your money necessarily out of a new roof, out of a new air conditioning unit. They're practical and they make sense, and people should allot for them. A roof may run $30,000-$40,000 a year, but you don't really, practically, let's take $1,200 each year and put it into a separate bank account so that when the roof is due, it's there. So I've always thought that for the most part, maybe you get 50% out of investments like that. Impact glass is kind of an interesting one. And if I go back when I started, and maybe you were 13 or 14 back then, Rob, the impact glass was probably a negative investment because it would fall into that practical category. And if you had metal shutters or then accordions, so we bought our house in 2003, it was built in 2001. That was, metal shutters were like a standard and an upgrade. I think 98 was the year that you had to have some kind of hurricane protection. And then accordions really came into play a little after that, going into, 04, 05. And then we got struck with these hurricanes that happened. And we're not talking about the Miami hurricanes, but the 04 and 05, the triple hurricanes that came through here. And everybody all of a sudden started paying attention to hurricane shutters. But I still think impact glass was a negative investment at that point, just from a resale perspective, because the resales didn't have them. So, and it was still an expensive endeavor to go out and get impact glass. But over time, new construction, and Emilio, one of the questions I'm going to ask you is, what percentage of homes in all price categories have impact glass? It used to just be for the rich and famous homes, and it's not that way anymore. And you're seeing more resales, like we're doing our home right now. We're getting fogged windows, and it's time. So when we're going to put glass in, we're going to put impact glass in there. So I think on a resale at this point, it's kind of turned the corner, and you're going to get your money out of it, as well as the stress and all the other benefits of it. So Emilio, I've known for a long time, and to tell you a little bit about him. When I was first introduced to him, I was just helping him. I didn't even know that he was in this business, and I was helping him find a home and his family. And he was actually shopping for his parents and bringing them closer, to him. And it was just the nicest thing, first of all, that I've seen, just how well he was taking care of his parents and how much care he had for them. But I got into a situation where it was a home that was off market. And Emilio insisted, I've been working with him, that I was going to get paid one way or the other. And that doesn't happen all the time. And I was just incredibly appreciative of that because in our profession, we spend all this time when we're running around and we don't ever get paid unless we sell, but you track up all sorts of hours and research and driving and time away from your family, and for somebody to acknowledge that, it was, I've always remembered that. So Emilio, tell us a little bit about yourself. You've been at Window Professionals for a long time. The company's been in existence since '89. Can you tell us a little bit about the company and a little bit about your background?
Sure. Thanks, Jeff. The company's been in business for over 33 years, under the same ownership for 26 of those 33 years. And I've been with the company since that transition. It's a neat little story. We grew up in Homestead. The core of the company grew up in Homestead, and we've been the vice president, myself, and our operations manager have been friends since we were 14, 15 years old. So it's kind of a cool connection to have turned a smaller business into something special. We were able to build the building back in '96 up here in Jupiter. And we had to grind hard to create a client base up here, whether it was on the new construction side or the remodel side, establish a reputation, meet guys like you, and connect. And we've been very blessed over the years and been able to grow our business into something special. Now, I wanted to touch on a couple of the points that you were talking about. I would say 90% of the new construction product that is out there, whether it's a custom home or tract homes, all are carrying impact product today. It's the rarity that you're going to find, maybe more northern Florida, but the rarity that in the southeast, southwest Florida, that you'll find any product and any home that's new that's not utilizing impact product today. There's a few different reasons. It's a one-time installation. You don't have to worry about, here comes another storm. Now I need to plan to get somebody to come out to put my shutters up, or I need to put them up myself. And that's an event. That's a 2 or 3 days of stress that you have to prepare for, where if you have the impact product in place, you're done. You don't have
we felt it with COVID, with this last storm coming, and then the double thing of worrying about getting and finding somebody to put the shutters up.
Oh yeah, in the second story, then it becomes, there's a little bit of fear of accessing that, putting up your shutters. If you're doing it yourself, there's a lot of game planning involved. That as opposed to planning on, are we staying for the storm, preparing for the storm? Let's go get some propane. Let's go get some burgers and get ready for maybe an electrical outage for a few days, but feel safe in your home. Or
so you can have the liquor and not worry about the.
Yes, that also that can to some degree be a stress reliever. Other benefits of having impact product is the improved energy efficiency of the structure. There's a variety of glass that has evolved in just the last 25 years. And I always hesitate on saying a quarter of a century because it makes me feel old. But the low E coatings on the glass that are really the advancement of our technology in the last 25 years to block out and retard the transfer of radiant heat into the structure is virtually free today, where it was a 20 to 25% out there 25 years ago, and dark and dingy, and it just didn't look appealing. Today, the clarity of the glass, the performance of the glass, the improved energy efficiency, increased protection.
How much noise protection? How much efficiency do you get in terms of your electric bill? What should it be cut by?
It depends on whether a lot of clients, if it's on the remodel side, it depends on how efficient the structure is right off the bat. If they have good insulation in the roof, but you can easily see about a 20% to 25% savings without a doubt. Now, it depends on how efficient the structure is, but that gives you a roundabout idea. And that's a gift that keeps giving all the time. It's not like a one-time gift. That's a monthly back to you, if you will, on your energy bill. The appearance, today they're designing all these products, all the windows, the doors, the French doors, with more glass, less frame. So the curb appeal is spectacular when you drive up and you know a house has been replaced with impact windows and doors. You see the difference in the curb appeal. Frame colors, the options, there's a variety. You can just about do anything you can think about. UV protection, there's inherent with the inner layers of the laminate. The impact glass will protect your any draperies, upholstery, blinds, carpet, flooring from ambering. There's a great deal of benefits from the glass itself. Sound transmission, you kind of mentioned that earlier. The sound deadening, so if you're near a road that there's a lot of traffic, the laminated glass does a great job with slowing down that transfer of sound into the structure.
With COVID, that's a big deal because more people now are working at home and they're going to continue to do so. So, blocking out the lawnmower noise, is becoming, or if you live by a road or train or any of those things, it's huge.
It is. It's a big factor. So when people think they're just buying impact windows for, protection against storms, there's a variety of byproduct that comes with it. Insurance premium discounts. So when you mitigate and you go to your insurance company, it helps with savings there. That's 6 or 7 benefits that pop up right off the top of my head. And that, again, that's a gift that'll keep giving yearly because that discount is applied with the insurance company having an understanding that you have the impact there. And again, long term, you year after year, that's going to save you money.
Emilio, when it comes to the savings from the insurance, right? Do you need to have every opening, so every window, impact in order to receive that insurance?
Good question, Rob. Yeah. Either impact or some form of impact protection. So a lot of people will forget their entry systems, which we also sell windows, doors, and entry systems. Garage doors, the little side door that's on the left or right of the structure that enters into the garage. You want that man door. You want that done also. And also the garage door itself that where you store your car. That's not something we do, but you need the entire structure covered. The change in the code back in '93 was prior to the code being implemented, windows and doors were considered to be attachments to the structure. After the code was implemented, windows and doors are considered to be part of the structure. So there's an engineering requirement that every opening in the house has what's called the design pressure. As long as the windows and doors that we are selling you meet and exceed the design pressures required, you're going to be covered for meeting the code compliance. Yeah, that's a nice one there.
I'm gonna pull it up right now. I'm gonna get out of the way.
That was a new construction job we did over in Frenchman's Creek, and spectacular house. We did 12-foot tall sliding glass doors. Really turned out sharp.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's all bronze frames, powder coated with a clear low E finish on the glass. That's a really nice job.
Hey, I got a quick question, Jeff, real quick. Yeah. So when you get these windows put in, before you get even put in, do you guys? I've seen those videos. I used to work in the news, and you go down to FIU, and they have the wind turbine that it's like can be up to a Category 5 hurricane. And did you ever do the thing where they launch like 2x4s at the glass to see if it breaks and all that type of stuff?
Yeah, all of the products. When we partner with these manufacturers, when we first partnered with the first company, which was over 26 years ago. Well, technically we were selling PGT, we've been selling PGT for 30, but their impact product didn't come out until 26 years ago. They all have to test each product, and each product is categorizing a fixed window, an operable window, whether it's a single hung, a casement, a French door, a sliding glass door. Every component has to be tested in what you were describing, which is a Florida certified testing lab, which an 8-foot 2x4 is shot at the glass and frame on 3 points, and then goes through 9,000 negative and positive cycles of wind. So you'll literally see the glass flexing back and forth.
Wow.
The minute the glass leaks, that's when they stop the test and they determine the performance of each product. And that's a lot of money. Each one of these guys made a commitment, and that's why we're so loyal to our manufacturers, because we know what they've committed to us.
What makes it? Because I've heard that it'll shatter too. If that's one of the drawbacks, or I guess that's part of how it works. What makes it shatter? What makes it impact glass? What makes it shatter is another question.
Oh, well, what makes it impact glass is how they build the glass. Essentially, the glass is similar to your windshield. It's 2 pieces of either annealed or heat strengthened glass sandwiched by an inner layer. And then what they turn that inner layer into is a monolithic glazing. So it's almost like welding 2 pieces together. And now that's the protection, that's the safety net on your structure. When debris is flying around, often it depends on the category of the storm, and whatever the term we use is the missile, whether it's a coconut,
Neighbor's fence.
a tile from the roof, a 2x4. It might just bounce off the glass, but then you might have a debris that's coming fast enough that will actually fracture the glass itself. And the positive there is you don't have to, we typically would never have to replace the entire window. It's just reglazing. And that's where your insurance comes in, where, if you have a lot of the damage, then your insurance would help cover for that. But in general, I would say after storms, it's a rarity that we're replacing very much glass at all over the years.
When did the cost start to really come down? Because I remember prior to 06 or so, it was like almost an unaffordable thing to do.
Yeah, I'd say right around, that was after Gene and what was the other one?
Wilma?
There was 2 storms we had come through,
right,
that hung around, and the some of the requirements were changing also. Since originally it all started back in '93, it was one county that was requiring this, which was Dade County. It kind of spread like a virus, if you will, and we knew it was going to evolve because Andrew hit us in Homestead, which I was down there during that, and our whole company was down there during that. So when we sell and we talk about windows and doors and impact resistance, we sell with another level of accountability and responsibility. We want people to really understand what can happen. That evolution of that code from Dade to Broward to the West Coast, all up the East Coast. There's some version of this code, even around Texas. There's some version of this code all over. So the production went up, the demand for the product went up. So roughly in the last 12 years to 15 years has been the change. And it's also been the advancement of the technology where they've been able to build better product for less. When they first came out, it was really expensive, and we had to wait 16, 17 weeks for the product. It was ridiculous. It took a long time. Now people are complaining about it taking 8 weeks. I think back 25 years ago, we're able to deliver a product in a reasonable time frame and very competitively.
So is that all economies of scale?
Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. whether it's in an aluminum product offering and a vinyl product offering, or in these higher end homes that are a clad wood window, across the boards. That it's touched each one.
What's so on resales now? What percentage of your businesses do you see that where somebody has an existing home and is coming to you?
That is, in the last 5 years, gone through the roof. I would tell you our business model, our company business model, when we left, and well, we're still in Miami. We still have our showroom in Miami. But when we built the building up here, I would say it was probably 70-30 new construction. Our business model was going after the home that's behind Rob there. And we have seen a dramatic change. I would say it's probably 60-40 today. It's huge. We've had to, our internal business models had to change to adapt to the demand, and it's a big part of our business today.
I'm looking at this picture, Emilio. I got this picture up right now. It's sideways. Sorry, folks. I can't flip the pictures in Zoom, but looks like a beautiful doorway, entryway. So
yeah,
that glass is impact that's in there, and then the door itself, like, how does that work?
Yeah, well, that's actually the decorative glass. It's a triple glazed product. That's actually a project over in the Shores we did, and very custom. It's hard to see, but it's a very custom project. The exterior glass is just a traditional tempered glass. The glass in between is actually the cane. It's called caning when you assemble all those decorative pieces of glass in between, and then the impact glass is on the interior, so it protects the structure. If in the event of a storm and debris flying, the safety net is the interior monolithic glazing that protects the structure.
So you can still get it customized like this, which is cool. I just thought it would be like one single pane of glass, but you can customize.
Yeah, sometimes it is what you described, but a lot of our clients want what they want. They ask, and they come to us, and we find a solution for them. We work very hard on trying to meet their expectations.
Well, I know just from one of the biggest advantages of, if you talk just about your front door, in terms of impact and having glass in your front door, a lot of people, don't do it, but when you have French doors or some type of light coming through, it makes everything more light in a home, and you're bringing in light from a different window direction. Like we have French doors, and we're bringing light in from the east. So we have a western exposure, so we have east, west, and then we have light coming in from the north as well. So it makes everything light, spacious, and open. When you're doing doors today, how many different choices are there for doors?
Oh, there's a huge variable tier there. We can go from traditional doors that we would use in patios as an entry system, because our market has swung to such a contemporary look that they're going to use maybe a traditional aluminum door that was a patio door. And then you have the fiberglass door system. That door that Rob had up before was actually a fiberglass door designed to look like a wood door. And that has a variety of tiers. And then you have your mahogany systems, which are also varied. Those are probably where we have the greatest versatility, because I can make anything out of a wood door. If I can draw it, our manufacturers can build it for us.
Are these doors, when you say impact resistant doors and glass, in my head, I think, my God, these doors must weigh like 500 pounds each. Are they heavy, or does it depend?
They can be. Some of that one job that you had up earlier, or even the one behind you there, the panels can range between 250 to 450 pounds, depending on the height of the door. But they are designed and engineered specifically with these tandem roller systems to be able to carry the weight of these panels. That's been the evolution of the product. That's why it's so costly for these manufacturers, because if they want to get into the impact market, they have to design something that is not out of the box. They have to design something that's specific to the needs of our market. So when they make a commitment, they're all in, and it's a pricey investment for them. But results like you've got on the picture here, that span is roughly 24 feet wide, and those panels roll absolutely smooth as silk. Now, you will get into some taller doors, like we did on the Frenchman's Creek job that you had up earlier, that may require an automation system, because some of those spans of glass might be 30 feet, 40 feet, 12 foot tall. There you go. And they'll require an automation system that we also sell, that's called the Summit Automation. You press a button, an app on your phone, and all of those panels will stack either to the right or to the left. It's really cool. I have a neat video that I should have sent you.
So in this picture here, the one, I'm going to go back to this other picture. So you can see the sliding glass doors, and then above there's this, wood working. That's something to reinforce everything to make sure it's all set, or what is that? Yep.
This was a remodel over in Turtle Creek, and he wanted as much glass as possible, and he wanted what you can't tell too well from this picture is that all those panels are going to pocket into the wall on the right and pocket into the wall on the left. So our installer / GC does a great job for us. He had to do this build out to be able to carry those panels. So when you open these doors and you stack them to the right and to the left, they disappear. So when you're entertaining and you're coming in and out, it's really a cool look. And if you could tell from the mirrored effect a little bit, the reflection, there's the river.
Yeah.
In the back.
Oh yeah. That's awesome. So what is your average price now of a home that you're doing? What does it went down from, if you go back, 10, 15 years?
I can probably give you a better idea, because there's been a run of a lot of Abacoa projects that we've done, and something that was probably a $40,000 project in the past is probably a $30,000 to $35,000 project. So
wow.
That's a chunk of change.
Yeah.
Can people finance it?
They can. We've been very careful with developing these partnerships. We're working on something with Synchrony right now that I think is going to work out, and I think it's going to benefit our clients. We're not there yet, but our method of doing business at the moment is still the traditional. It's a 50% deposit and the back end on delivery. But we are looking at working with Synchrony. We've toiled with that a little bit, but I think we're going to be moving forward to be able to offer that to our client base.
Is it the same thing with association? When you do a building, like a condo building, do they? Because I assume they're just doing it a lot of it will do it the whole time. Is there a lot of condo work that's going on still?
Yeah, there is, absolutely. Yeah, that's a little bit of a unique process there, because and I always coach those clients is, let's meet with the building manager. Let's make sure we get the product specs on the front end, because over the years, some clients have wanted to push and move forward with projects like that, and then come to find that they can't use a certain frame color, they can't use a certain glass. There are some specialty products that are used in these higher rise condo projects, because their requirements are higher from an engineering standpoint. So then it funnels you into a specific product. We can't use every product on the condo job.
Is what are the prices? How much are prices going to come down? Not on the. Do you think in the next 5-10 years?
That's a little hard to say. We've had this a little bit of a roller coaster ride the last couple years with aluminum extrusion costs. Um, they That's the variable that's hard because a big chunk of our business is aluminum product that we sell. So it's keeping an eye on
Is that American made, or is that a lot of it coming from overseas?
some is coming from overseas, and it just depends on the manufacturer. We happen to be partnered with one of them from overseas that is very vertically, extremely vertically integrated down to their extrusions. They make their own extrusions, their own glass, and it makes them very competitive. But that's more of a specialty niche product. 90% of what we move is here out of Florida.
So at the present right now, are you having any supply problems and labor problems because of the whole, COVID situation?
Yeah, my as long as I communicate clearly to my clients on the front end, yes, there's a little bit of a delay with COVID issues at the factories that I think we're on the back end of that. Delays on glass, we've had that also only because of the amount of business. It's a little tougher for the glass companies to keep up right now. But I find most of our clients, you're communicating that honestly up front. You're telling them what the deal is. They don't have a problem with that, as long as they're being.
What percentage of it increased after COVID? Did business go up?
Yeah, I been kind of busy to put together a report on that. That's part of the problem. It's been a blessing because I think a lot of folks have been home and deciding, hey, I'm going to pull the trigger on this. We've been holding off on. I'd say there's easily a 25 to 30% on sales from where we were last year, easily.
What's the so for someone out there that's watching and they're thinking, I've been thinking about it for a little while. I think I want to get impact glass. I'm tired of running out there, putting the shutters on, taking the shutters off, putting the shutters on, taking the shutters off. What's the process? So is it, I call, I can look at samples, you'll come out to me. Go through the process of someone interested and what you guys do.
Good question. What we do is with our if I get to talk to them on the front end or one of our guys, we always try to coach and consult to get them to come to the shop because it's a 5,000 square foot showroom. We've literally built windows and doors inside of these openings to provide better perspective. And that'll help define meeting their expectations. Once we can sit with them, go over what is it you're looking for, the style of window, the type of window, A to Z. Sometimes they're not ready. Like with the COVID right now, a lot of people are afraid to leave the house. We come out very prepared. We have our masks. If I can't get them into the showroom initially, we'll come out and set up what we call a field measure, a scope of work assessment. And we will come out, we'll measure, have some dialogue with the client, have an understanding of what is it they're looking for exactly, and then try to direct them into the right product offering. And then if after that meeting, we feel a warm fuzzy, I try to force that meeting into the showroom also because I want them to touch, feel, operate the window. So there's no opportunity to fracture the relationship later because something gets lost in translation, then if they're able to touch it, I believe they're going to feel a great deal of confidence in what we're providing. Then we'll set up a final walkthrough with our installer, and we thoroughly go through, we neurotically go through, and even if it's a fractional change, so we measure twice, we go through the whole scope, we check your floors, we check to see the sill risers, we check the wall depths. There's a lot of things that we have to make sure we're all on the same page so there's no misunderstanding later. Then we sit down, and this is very important to me. We always tell the client, we don't make you responsible for the dimensions, but we make you responsible for everything we can make you responsible for. Frame color, glass color. We want to make sure that you understand exactly what you're buying. I will initial each line item, and I expect them to sit down and initial with me each line item also, so they make sure they understand that this is the configuration they're buying. These are the colonial configurations that you're buying. That's the only thing you can really make somebody that isn't in our industry responsible for. And I really, it's making them more accountable in the process also. So when they get their product, there's no surprises.
Right now, like at our home, and so it's been around about, we're about 20 years. We're starting to see fogging at the window. We're putting in the glass. So what is the lifespan of impact glass?
Well,
Today's product.
It's been another one of those things that when something is new to a market, and really impact still in conversation is relatively new, 25 years. The first year it was no warranty on the glass. 3 or 4 years went down, then they started offering a 3-year warranty on glass. 5, 10. The finishes have evolved, so it's a little bit evolving. It keeps changing. The warranties have changed. I want to say probably 6 times to the better for the end user, because they know now as time has gone on, it's evolved, and we know that the paint finish is holding up better, that we've gone to a powder coat. We know that the glass with this type of laminate is improving, so we're able to offer 5 or 10 years on the glass. And I in the next 5 or 6 years, I'm sure that's going to improve also. It's going to continue to improve. Some companies, like Geldwin is one of our clad companies, offers 30 years on those seal failures that you're talking about, where you see the glass fogging up.
Wow.
So they're very confident that it's going to perform long term.
And how do you figure out on a typical home, let's just say average of, take a 2,000 square foot home or 3,000, when you have what is the price per square foot? You should figure if you're going to replace the whole house. Very rough.
That's a tough number. I've always said it just like this. Let me come out and measure. Is there a price per square foot we could throw out there? But it depends on the product, because we've got, as I said, so many tiered product offerings that it could be a $10,000 job with the same number of units. It could be a $40,000 job, just depending on the product offering. So it just depends on the client's expectations.
And then
what insurance savings do you get with it? On average?
That's one, since I happen to be married to my insurance agent, in the past, I've heard anywhere between 25 to 35%, talking conservatively,
Wow.
as long as they have a complete superior structure discount. So that is that's a chunk and change. As I said, that's a gift that keeps on giving yearly.
So, I think when you look at ROI, you're really looking at a number of different things. You're looking at, there's an ROI in terms of insurance savings. Yep. There's an ROI of, 25% or so a year in your bill to FP&L. And over, if you're in a home, we've been here 20 years, it almost just those things you probably end up in a positive ROI in terms of putting in the impact glass in the beginning. And I think today there's a resale. There's a huge resale advantage, because I think people are looking for it, or it's just it's becoming a want, not a need. Yep. It already where it has been a want. It's almost in that category of both. Today where somebody expects it, to be there. They don't want to have, because the stress factor also of just dealing with storms and getting it up it's tremendous.
Oh, that you're absolutely right. That it is a form of when you've experienced it and you've lost your home, and having grown up in Homestead down there, the devastation of my whole family, my parents, my in-laws, my brother, my sister-in-laws, everybody, we all lost our homes. And so we know the reality of what these storms can do. And the more prepared you are, the more time you take into preparing for even a 100-mile-an-hour storm. You put impact glass, you're focused on other things. You put impact glass in your home, you're not worrying about running around putting shutters up it could be on some of these houses a 2-day or 3-day, 4-day process, and then trying to find help in that 2 or 3 day
Well,
process.
I think the more dangerous one is the 80 to 100 mile an hour, hurricane one. Do I put the shutters up or do I pass? And everybody's waiting and waiting and waiting. And what happens then if you get some damage, or a window blows in? Then does the insurance company say, well, you didn't put your shutters up?
Yeah.
And then who's liable at that point for paying it? That's always been, it's like flood insurance. We have flood insurance. You don't have to, but a lot of these storms hit, and it's what happened in Houston or New Jersey. People didn't have flood insurance, and it wasn't a hurricane even.
Right.
And it caused it. So I think there's a lot of reasons to have it there, because again, you don't have to. It's that peace of mind and the stress of it.
You're absolutely right. The conversation I have with most of our clients, I lead with that. I actually lead with that conversation, and that your prep time is more the thought process of what's more important: your family, your planning, because there can be a lot of psychological issues trying to survive a storm that's really bad in the house that doesn't have impact windows or is not prepared. The kids, it can be a really ugly situation where, if you've got your home prepared, you can make other decisions. You can go to Orlando, you can drive off, come back and clean up. And that's kind of been my thought process over the years, and how I try to coach clients. You're done. You don't have to think about anything else. Your house is as protected as it can be, and now it's up to you to go protect your family and go, whether you drive off away from the storm, north or south, you take the actions that's more important. Is dealing with
is like drinking the margarita. So that's the pre-hurricane storm always.
I've got to follow well right here.
We had talked about that. Jeff, remember when
Window Professionals started, was it all impact glass at that point, or was it just a glass and door company?
No, luckily we were right in that transition. It was a decision that we had to make that we have to find partners, first of all, that are committed to the market. That's why we've been so loyal. It's not a shot at Andersen. I love Andersen as a product, but they literally told us, hey guys, we were in Homestead, one county in all of the United States. It's going to be tough for us to spend, we'll see how this goes, essentially, is how it's, but that would have meant they were a big part of our business. Thank God we were able to pick up Gelwin and PGT and then CGI and then all of the partners that made the commitment to the market. And it was a blessing in disguise.
It's amazing, because I remember my first 3, 4, 5 years in the business before the hurricanes happened. Andersen windows, Andersen doors was a major selling point. Then people, client would tell you about that, and I'm like, nobody cares anymore. It's, do you have impact or do you not? They're not. That Andersen product and that name went away.
Yeah, Andersen's, I think, is still a great company. And since a lot of our client base, I'm sure it's a common thing, are Northeasters, a lot of the guys that come down, and Andersen really is dominant up there.
Right. I'm from Chicago, and it was a major thing, but it translated here. I don't remember the last time I heard anybody ask about it or
what it's evolved into is the understanding that this is a unique market. And since this is a unique market, it doesn't mean that all these national companies have it all figured out. It's one of the reasons we stuck in there with Geldwin over the last 25 years. They did a great job in meeting the needs of the market for us to be able to do these estate homes, and whether it's Admirals, Frenchman's, the Bears Club, and oversized units, 10-foot tall doors, 10-foot tall picture windows. Just, they made a huge commitment to us, and we were able to really take advantage of the commitment and between here to Key West, we have our product, whether it's Geldwin, CGI, PGT, all of those, Windor, all over the place.
And then do you, what percentage of your business is commercial?
It's not as big as I'd like it to be, but we just finished a huge job for Lockheed Martin about a year and a half ago, which off of Blue Heron. That was impressive job. We had to get it done in 45 days. The install, once we received the product, nerve-wracking, but it was a very proud moment. In fact, our installer, Tyler Paul, executed that job flawlessly, did a great job for us on that.
And tell us a little bit about your company, size-wise, how many people work there, et cetera.
Well, we've got between our Miami office and our Jupiter office, 12 people overall, including our salespeople. And we run sales. Everything gets, whether it's a local sale, and something I'm going to mention also, we do a lot of export in the islands, in the Caribbean, Central South America also. But locally, everything gets funneled through the Palm Beach branch here in Jupiter. So all the product comes here, we receive it, we check it. Once we receive it, once we load it again, we check it again, and then it's off to delivery to the job sites. And again, our attention to detail is really what's positioned us over the years as an advantage. May not always be the cheapest guy in town. We're very competitive, and we make sure things are right, and that's our target from A to Z.
Well, impact glass is one of those things where you really don't, reputation and the background of the company are incredibly important. It's not one of those things where you want to take a chance on, product wise.
Yeah. What you'll find is there's a lot of these remodel companies. Our term internally, Jeff, my partner, I'm going to give him credit for it. He struck it a few years ago. He says, a lot of these guys that are selling windows and doors are marketing companies that are selling windows and doors. We're a window company that sells windows and doors. And there's nothing wrong with their business model, but what you'll find is you can get answers from us. We know our product. I wrote a mission statement for our sales guys over 20 years ago. It's a little corny, but it's based on knowing our product, knowing the building codes, knowing our competition, and being able to meet our clients' expectation first before the sale. And we know the sale will come when we do all that.
Oh, and why did you personally get involved in it?
As I told you, Jeff and I were buddies since we were kids, and Jeff used to own a painting company, and I used to work for Sherwin-Williams when we were right out of high school. And there was a common, I don't know how much time we got, but there was a common.
It's a pandemic. You got as much time as you want.
There was a common builder that we had, which was a fireman, Bill Nichols, who originally owned the company. I used to sell Bill paint. Jeff used to paint the houses for Bill. And that was our connection. And as time went on, when the hurricane hit and Bill said, I'm a fireman, I can't handle the amount of work. He sold and provided the opportunity to sell the company to Jeff. And as soon as Jeff bought the company, the next step was he came after me to pull me in. And we've been very successful since then. We've been very blessed.
One last question for me, and Rob, make sure we put all of Emilio's contact information in the company, and both in the blog and in here.
Yep.
But what's going to happen, and what is there any new products that are coming that you're really excited about?
Yeah, there's there's a unique product offering, a company we partnered with about 3 or 4 years ago that had the pulse of the market. It's a company called Eurowall. They're out of Port Charlotte, and they just targeted unique product offerings, and one of them is a folding door. We've had a lot of success selling their folding door. I said it early on that
what is a folding door? Is that like a sliding door?
No, it's an actual door that collapses, that you disengage, and the door will actually collapse. And then, like a bifold door, like your closet door, it'll stack. All the panels will stack one way or the other. So that's one unique product. Eurowall's also developed what's called a multi-slide door, which has a 1-inch vertical style, more glass, less frame. The swinging of our market, which is very contemporary structures. So a pivot door, a door that literally can be 6 foot wide, one panel, 10 foot tall, and will pivot just on a pivot, one pivot point. So that's a unique product offering. It's not that it hasn't been around, it's just a company hasn't had it tested for impact, because it's tough to get products like that tested and approved for impact. And Eurowall's done a great job for us in meeting the needs of the market. So that's one of those products that definitely is unique.
You do any doors, by the way, for the inside of the house for noise reduction?
That's not something we do. We do have neighbors down the street there, Smith and DeShields, that can handle all your interior doors need.
I remember,
Rob, you have any questions?
Yeah, I remember just having the discussion with Jeff when hurricane season first started, and it was, I forget which hurricane, that they didn't know, is it coming, is it not coming? And
right.
Jeff's like, oh, I have to get out there. And I had just recently had impact glass, and I'll tell you a few things quickly. Is one, I live on kind of a main road where there's cars constantly going by. I can't hear them anymore. And I mean, very minimally, of course. A diesel truck goes by, I might hear a little bit of that. But and then when it's storming out, when it's raining, I literally stand up sometimes like, oh my God, it's downpouring out. Like, you can't hear it. And had you talked about, savings costs for electricity, I guess we're going to, it seems like it's lowering as it goes. Over time, I'm sure it'll be a huge benefit. And, just the mental state of not having to worry about, boarding up and doing this and doing that. And, then you can help some neighbors out that maybe, need to still do that. And maybe they'll be like, you know what, I'm going to invest in that too, because this is a pain in the butt to get up, and board, and do all this and worry about the cats and the dogs and the kids. So the only downfall, Jeff, to impact glass for me is my neighbors can't hear me screaming unless I open the windows up when there's a football game on. So they can't hear as the Eagles are playing. They can't hear me going crazy. That's the only downfall. I mean, I like.
So the neighbors have a benefit of it.
Well, they have a benefit. For me, I'm like, you guys don't want to hear the Eagles fight song? Like, they can't hear it now when they score.
Have you painted your house like that guy in Buffalo did?
No, I do have a little man cave.
There's like a Buffalo Bills fan. Did you see that? Where he lives in Rochester, and the New York Jets fan came in and he was hollering all the time, so he got upset. So he painted his whole house like blue with like all the Buffalo Bills colors, like a Buffalo Bills house, and everybody honks every time they drive by it.
I haven't done that. I have an Eagles flag outside my house. That's as far as I'll go.
He's like painted in Eagles tattoos, and Rob's all Eagles.
So real quick, Emilio, if someone's interested, and I'll put this information in our blog and on the site, how can people get in touch with you? What's the best way to get in touch with you? A website, phone number? How do we get in touch with you?
My website, probably email is going to be the best way. Phone is also accurate, but Emilio at winpros.us.
At WinPros?
Yeah, WINPROS.US.
And then what's the phone number? Do you have the phone number handy?
561 262 7223.
Cool.
or my office, 561-745-6122.
So we learned a lot of stuff today, and very valuable stuff about return on investment. Just the benefits to having impact glass. It's amazing. One last quick thing. I promise this is it. What's the? I know every job is different, Emilio. So house sizes, type of how big the windows are, doors. Let's say a typical house, a 2,000 square foot house. Uh, from the ordering process, when I decide I'm going to use you guys and we order, and I know the shipping can fluctuate, right? Maybe you said maybe 8 weeks. Is that what you said? I believe it was.
Yeah, that's realistic right now. I would say between from the point of order
Yep.
that we actually pull the trigger and we tell you, and we try to do that within a couple days of the process. Once we're signed off, we usually receive an acknowledgement within 48 hours from the manufacturer, so we know when we're supposed to receive the product. And then we actually set the install date. It'll be between 8 to 9 weeks after that. That gives you a good idea.
So then after that, how long? Again, I'm saying a 2,000 square foot home. No crazy windows or doors, the average style. What's how many days? Is it a day? Is it 2 days? And then you have to have an inspector come out after? How does that work?
Yeah. I would say between 2 to 3 days on something like that for the execution of the install. And the beauty of our guy, we always make sure any drywall repair that needs to be done, any stucco repair that needs to be done, it's included in his package. So you're not left there with, you got your windows installed, but now you got to go hire another guy to do the drywall repair and also do the touch-up paint.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's true.
I know it doesn't sound like a big detail, but it's something that's off your back. Our target is to leave it as it was or better. And I would say that could be a 2 to 4 day process depending on the complexity of the job and the scope of the work and what's involved.
Have you ever had, last thing, I promise, I said that my last question, but have you ever had, like, you get to a job and you're tearing out the windows, right, the old windows, and you get a oh moment or a oh wow, we didn't realize, like any time, like, you're ripping out, maybe there was rotted wood or something that you didn't expect?
I'm glad you brought that up because that is a term I use literally, and we have on a lot of the properties out in Jupiter Farms over the years, a lot of frame construction out there. So everybody's mentally in the company always set up speak freely about this. Guys, Mr. and Mrs. Client, we can propose this. We propose the entire job as is. The only thing we don't know is what we don't know. And we can do a little bit of exploratory surgery if we see something on the front end to try to see if there's some rot or something like that. But that is something that our guy can take care of also. And we call that a billable item at that point. I know nobody likes that. Nobody likes, give me one number. Well, it's tough to give you one number on something that you don't know.
And CBS homes, your second story is, for at least the older homes, is typically frame, is wood frame.
Correct.
Frame stucco, right?
Yeah, on a lot of the properties, that was part of some of the changes over the years also. You'll see a lot of the two-story homes today also built with block all the way up. So it depends on where it's built. You're right.
I have one last question. What's either your favorite or your funniest story?
My what?
Favorite or funniest?
Favorite or funniest story? Let's see.
Got to be something.
It's got to be something. Let's think here. Well, you got me on short notice there.
Any memorable moment?
I might have to email you.
You show up for something in a job and something happens, or.
Well, years ago, I don't know if my wife's listening, but years ago, when we were still in Homestead, go to measure a job, and lady opens the door, and she knew I was coming, and was not not properly dressed, if you will, I guess. A little uncomfortable situation. That's one that comes off the top of my head.
Well,
Of
you'll
course,
have
I
that.
measured that. I normally measure all jobs from the interior. That's another one of those little things. With that job, I measured everything from the outside that day.
There you go.
So again, folks, it's Emilio Pages from the Vice President of Window Professionals. So if you're thinking about getting that impact glass, I got the number here, 561-262-7223. I'll put the information above, and then it'll be in our blog. Check out our blog. We do real estate roundtables every Sunday with all different topics, from impact glass to last week we did destinations to travel to within the state of Florida. Anything real estate related, Florida related, you can count on us to provide that for you. So, Emilio, thank you so much for coming on today and telling us all about your business and Impact Glass. And Jeff, as always, and Jeff, I saw you had that White Sox mug there. Is that they've clinched the playoff berth?
They clinched the playoffs. Yeah, best record in the American League. Last night they had three home runs in a row. Boom, boom, boom. So I asked my wife if she's liking baseball anymore, and she said, tolerating it.
It's been since the Kenny Williams era, right? Since the last time the Sox were that good. Kenny Williams, wasn't it? The GM.
Yeah, 2012 was the last time. 2008 was the last time we made the playoffs, so it's 12 years.
Long time. So, well, that does it for us this morning.
Go Dolphins. Let me just sneak that one in because you're an Eagles fan.
Hey, you beat us last year. I went all the way down to Miami to watch that game, and I was disappointed the Dolphins pulled one out on the Eagles. It was
Dolphins won a game last year?
They won a few, I believe. They won a few. They're up and coming. I like that team though. They're young. They got a lot of that coach. The coach.
They did the right thing, in terms of rebuilding.
Yep, and then we'll see.
Hopefully, this kid will be. I'm hesitant to say. I hope they don't throw him in there. I hope they give him the year, let him heal up completely, and let's see where it goes. I'm willing to sacrifice a year.
Yep.
Hopefully, we can get some Fitz magic during this year, though.
Yeah. I'm a Bears fan, so
Wah, wah.
a lot of years sacrificed.
Well, that does it for us. Thanks, everyone, for watching, and that does it for another edition of Real Estate Roundtable. And have a great day, everyone.
All right, guys.
Thanks, guys.
So long, everybody.